we should do some Hall of Fame talk. I want to name some wide receivers, and I want to ask you guys if they should make the Hall of Fame.
I love legacy talk. Let's go. Cross-sport legacy talk.
Number 1, Antonio Brown.
Do not get fooled by Twitter.
Yep.
Do not get fooled by alleged CTE. This man is a hooper. This man is a straight baller. This is a Hall of Famer.
Unless they want to Pete Rose him and say, we're not letting you in for moral reasoning because you're a horrible person. If that was to be the case, fine. Who am I to disagree? But on the merit of on the field, the clearest Hall of Famer.
And if that's the case, there's a lot of people in the NFL Hall of Fame that shouldn't be in. If we are, like you said, we're strictly talking about on-field production. Antonio Brown at his peak is one of the best receivers we've ever seen. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
If you have 5 All-Pro selections, you're probably going to make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an easy one. I feel like that's an easy one.
Very easy.
Next up, Mike Evans.
Quintessential debate. Just listen. People want to put him there, obviously, for longevity, for consistency, for doing something nobody's ever done before. 11 1,000-yard seasons to start your career.
Yep. Barely made it this past year.
I understand it. I respect it. I kind of feel like you should probably be at the best in your position for at least a year if you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. Like, there has to be at least some top end of the position dominance. So I don't know. I don't want to say no, but it's not a resounding yes for me.
I'm going to say no.
What?
I'm going to say no for the same reason. I do think that there should be at least at least a season where we look at you and say 2013 Mike Evans, 2016 Mike Evans, whatever. That is a problem.
But is it a problem with him, or is this like the other guys around him are just like that?
Okay, well, it's not a problem with him. You said you should look at him and say it's a problem. Mike Evans is a problem. Mike Evans is a fantastic player, one of the best, one of the best contested catch receivers.
Wrong verbiage, but like to be the number 1 receiver in the league, we've never thought that about Mike Evans.
Yeah. And maybe that is just because he played at the same time as he played it during Antonio Brown's prime, now Justin Jefferson's prime. He crossed into different number 1 guys' primes that were clearly above him. So maybe that's not his fault, but he's just not. He's extremely good. He doesn't have the top end speed, the top end route running, the top end of most skills. Fantastic big body, contested catch receiver, can move around the formations. Incredible weapon, but there was never a second where I don't even know if he was top 3 wide receiver in the NFL at any point.
That's tough.
He probably finished top 3 in receiving yards at some point if I'm blinking, but I'm sure there's players that would still pick over him in that season.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mike. I got to keep you out.
But I do respect.
He's been top 5 consistently throughout his career, which is, I guess that's another.
He's been
question.
top 10 consistently throughout his career. He's had spurts to top 5, but he's consistently been top 10 for 11 years, which is a long time. So I do kind of respect that. I think you can make a Hall of Fame case for doing something incredibly unique that nobody else has ever done. This stretch of 1,000-yard receiving seasons is insane. So like, if you want to tell me that you're just giving him a different reason to get in than most guys, I don't think that's crazy.
If I was to let him in, it was simply because of longevity reasons.
And like, okay, if he gets into the Hall of Fame, it's going to be one of those situations where they're going to make him wait forever. And he's going to be on his last, 2-3 years of being eligible to get into the Hall. And then they'll be like, all right, Mike Evans, welcome. That's gonna be the case. There's no way that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Okay.
I
like that. Tyreek Hill.
Another Antonio Brown situation. If you want to say you don't respect it for moral reasonings, I will not disagree with you. In fact, I will agree with you. But on the field, the better conversation for me is this the top 10 receiver of all time? That's like the conversation Tyreek is going to enter himself into when he's retired. Okay. Hall of Fame is without a doubt.
So a resounding hell yes. Donovan had no thoughts yet.
It's a yes. It's a yes. There's so few players who, as soon as they are on the field, break the shape of how defenses play, of how the field works and is tilted. Tyreek is, when he's at his peak, and the fact that he got to be at his peak with also Patrick Mahomes, we got to see some of the best wide receiver production.
He had 1,700 yards with Tua Tagovailoa throwing to him.
Brother, he's game breaking. He makes no sense.
There's been very few receivers ever that have their high end skill be so impactful for an offense. Like, it's not just amazing route running, amazing hands. He can get his numbers. Like, he is a weapon to a degree most offensive players are nowhere close to.
Okay, that's a resounding yes. Next, we got AJ Brown.
Donovan.
Ooh.
Obviously,
listen, his story is not finished being okay?
Deliver the bad news to him, please.
So obviously he's not retired yet. Do you think he's on pace? Is the better conversation?
Yeah, I think
3 second-team All-Pros, not a single first team, 3 Pro Bowls. No 1,500-yard seasons.
Damn.
We're going to get there.
When? Like how time is ticking.
Well, first of all, they've been add that 18th game. We're gonna get to 1,500, buddy. I'm gonna let you know that right now. But
we're gonna crush the numbers.
Yeah. But it is very, very clear. Like especially right now, like AJ Brown is a top 3 receiver in the league. You could probably expect that for the next like 2 to 3 years. So you're gonna have that peak stretch from him. He's gonna have some chips under his belt, multiple
chips.
Right.
This is the NBA. Who gives
Sure.
a
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
He's going to be a major part of that. I do think that you're going to see a good case for him.
That's a whole lot of words for no man.
Career.
Whole lot of words for no man.
He's quintessential. I think going to be like just below that. He's in the type
similar
of guy
to Mike, not Mike Evans, but Mike Evans in a different way.
Mike Evans might make it. So I don't know. But I think AJ Brown's like the quintessential guy. We're going to look back at 15 years and be like, yo, remember AJ Brown? Those 6 years were crazy.
Yeah.
And it won't be documented in history in the Hall of Fame, but it'll be like, oh, we remember AJ Brown.
Okay.
Don't do him like that.
That's a great compliment. We sit down and we're like, bro, you remember Doug Martin? You remember so-and-so?
Don't you ever put AJ Brown in.
No, but it's like, remember LaShawn McCoy? I don't think LaShawn McCoy is a Hall of Famer, but LaShawn McCoy is like, yo, he was nice.
You're disrespectful.
That's not that disrespectful.
You're disrespectful.
No, I'm not. I don't think that's disrespectful.
You can have everything, man. Julian Edelman.
Facts, he has everything. They want a Super Bowl. He's greedy. Exactly. Eagles fans are so fucking greedy. They want all the legacy conversations and a Super Bowl.
You guys are
because every step of the way, people like to disrespect everybody on the team. Now, Julian Edelman, he can be in the Patriots Hall of Fame.
Damn.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame, no.
He had so many clutch moments for the Patriots.
Shout out to him.
That's Patriots Hall of Fame. That's exactly what that's where you remember moments.
Very meaningful for the team. No Pro Bowls. Mac Jones has made a Pro Bowl.
Damn.
There's been, dude, what's his name? That backup quarterback from the Ravens.
Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley made a Pro Bowl.
If you can't get a Pro Bowl, all right, man. He
just shows up for the big moments.
It's
That's
a personal problem.
Yeah, and shout out, if there's ever anybody to attach yourself to get your legacy push forward forever, it's Tom Brady. So like, good for him for being in the exact right space to be remembered forever. The Patriots will remember you forever. Doesn't mean the Hall of Fame has to.
I will too. You're a Hall of Famer in my heart.
Yeah, well, your heart stinks.
Next, we got Chad Ochocinco.
2 first-team All-Pros, 2 second-team All-Pros.
He is a Hall of Famer.
Hell yes.
He is a Hall of Famer. He should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and he gave himself a gold jacket because he knows they're gonna politic him out of the Hall of Fame for years and years and years. It doesn't matter. What he did on the field, different.
So in your eyes, you'd pick him for sure.
Yeah, we had the same Hall of Fame.
Why do you have reserves?
He's in my Hall of Fame, and I subscribe to his.
Okay, so you subscribe to everything Chad Ochocinco says?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Don't say anything so fast. Mm-hmm. He said some crazy
Stay
things.
with me now. He's a Hall of Fame.
Fair enough.
Okay, Julio Jones.
Without a doubt, right?
Easily.
I don't know. Will he be first ballot?
Yeah, in my mind, he damn near should be.
Like without a doubt, Julio Jones is a Hall of Famer. This is another one that's not a conversation. One of the most physically dominant wide receivers
He's
of all time.
He's a fucking freak, man. He makes no sense.
Yeah, some of it got overshadowed by him playing at the same time as Calvin Johnson, who is like the physical specimen of all time. Julio Jones is like 85% of that.
The only reason why Julio Jones is not thought to be in that category is because he just wasn't catching touchdowns at the same rate that everybody else was. But in terms of like crazy contested catches, yards, just doing everything else that receivers do, he's up there with the best of them.
3 1,500-yard seasons before they added the extra game. He got it ethically. Yeah, he's up there.
Man, the leaping ability from him too on some of these catches back in the day, special.
Yeah. Only 2 first-team All-Pros, but like this is the definition of you play at the same time as Calvin Johnson and Antonio Brown, but you were just as good to be first team.
I agree. Next, we got DeAndre Hopkins.
I think so. I think eventually he's going to get into the Hall of Fame.
Eventually, but not first ballot.
Yeah. He's gonna have to wait. But if you look at the All Pros, he has as many All Pros as people who are in the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. He has one less Pro Bowl appearance than Randy Moss.
Okay.
Like the accolades. That's there. There was a time where you could look at DeAndre Hopkins and say, yeah, that's probably the best receiver in the league. And he was doing it without great quarterback.
That's why he's going to make it. His legacy will be he got it out the mud through one of the worst supporting casts ever when you talk about not supporting cast, but one of the worst pass throwers ever.
Just say his name.
No, it's not his name. There's like 8 names of people that gave him nothing. They rotated quarterbacks in and out as soon as between Matt Schaub and Nasty Man, it was a slew of bullshit that DeAndre Hopkins found a way to get 1,000 yards with every single one of them.
And it's very fitting because it's very Andre Johnson-esque.
Yeah.
So it does make sense. Like, listen, the Texans have had bad quarterback play for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And they both have outstanding receivers that got out the mud. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be first ballot, but he probably will make it.
Yeah, he'll be remembered as one of those guys that has more respect even than his accolades.
Okay. Odell Beckham Jr. He just retired. Come on now. Whoa. He had very iconic moments when we were all in like 9th grade.
That's what I'm saying. If you asked me in 2016 when I was hitting the whip, I would say, yeah, that's a Hall of Famer. But you take a step back from the career and you're just like, man, injuries suck.
Yeah. Was he a Hall of Fame talent? Yes.
Absolutely.
Would he have gotten there if his knees didn't explode and give up? Maybe. You never know. Maybe not a guarantee, but maybe.
That was guaranteed. If he didn't get hurt, that is a Hall of Fame.
And like 3 Pro Bowls is a good amount. 2 second team All Pros is still a good amount for the limited window he had, but the longevity just wasn't there.
That's so depressing. He popularized so much shit.
You're gonna cry over Odell Beckham Jr.'s career?
We got to pour one out.
This is like the guy for our generation to remember, like, what could have been.
Injuries suck.
We were robbed.
He's not as good as Bo Jackson, but I feel like our generation is going to remember him in the same, not to the level, but like that the face of like, if you would have seen him back then, if he didn't get hurt, he would have been great.
Man, don't get me started on Bo Jackson.
In his prime, I guess for the 2010s, where would he rank as a
his
wide
prime?
receiver? Yeah,
man, there's some good receivers in the 2010s.
In his prime, I would take Odell like top 5.
Yeah, he'd be like 5th or 6th because there were some insane receivers. Like you had Antonio Brown, Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones. Off rip.
That's insane, bro. If he's in those conversations,
he's not. He's right behind those conversations.
Yeah.
So like he's probably like 5th or 6th for the 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not bad. Justin Jefferson. It's early, I know, but he's so impressive already.
Low key. If he retired, so he's gonna be in the Hall of Fame by the time he's done.
Yeah.
If he retired today, he'd have a case.
That's insane.
4 Pro Bowls, 4 All Pro selections, and the only. Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame.
Dude, as of today, I think he has the highest average yards per game of somebody's career.
That's ridiculous.
He's like just under 100 for his career average. This, like, he might have a Hall of Fame case already through 5 seasons.
That's insane.
Like, so it's not even a question of, he's similar to what we said with Tyreek, where like the conversations will be far higher than is he a Hall of Famer? It'll be like whatever your number is of all time great, 10, whatever it is, he's gonna be pushing those conversations.
Yeah, at this point, it's how many Pro Bowls, how many All Pros can you just stack up?
Yeah,
because he's gonna be in that conversation every single year unless he gets hurt.
The pace he's on is ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's an easy yes. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, not even a conversation.